Hey Soul Family, so good to see you. I'm hoping you can hear me okay because I'm messaging you here live from Seattle Airport on my way to Seoul, Korea, then to Bali. And before I complete my journey and get over there, which is going to be 11 hours plus another 6 hours and a 1 hour layover, I want to, hey silly yoga, I want to share with you what happened last week, which was so freaking crazy and super intense. And I had a near-death experience. I went to Veda Austin, and those of you that don't know who that is, you can just scroll back on my reels from last week and just see a little bit about the recap from her. But working with the water as a water priestess, and she's working with crystallography with the water, and it was all serendipity for me to even go. I was getting ready to head up to my shop at the Lighthouse Holistic Co-op in Austin, and I checked my Facebook Messenger, and then all of a sudden someone was posting a opportunity to get a ticket, which she said was free. So I jumped on it, and I was like, yes, I totally will rearrange my day to go see Veda Austin. I wanted to go see her at Confluence, and I wasn't able to go to do that because of the wedding for my son, which was amazing. And so I decided I was going to go ahead and just jump on that opportunity. So I went to the event, which was just so confirmational and so validational with the crystallography that she's doing with the plasma stage of water, and the ability for the water to not only mirror and reflect images or share that it's really is having a conversation with us, a conscious conversation, and it's like the ultimate teacher. So that was super amazing. And there was a woman there from Blue Bottle Love selling these really brilliant and amazing blue bottles, and so I checked out her blue bottles, and they had such a super high vibe and high frequency. And so after the end of the event, and on the way to the event, I ended up getting that ticket from that woman. I messaged one of my girlfriends that I was going to do a drop-in with before I left for the event, and I had to reschedule, and she hooked me up with a friend that said, oh my god, my friend is looking for a ride. She's the photographer and the videographer. So I picked up the photographer and the videographer for Veda Austin's event. We went out there together and had an amazing soul connection. I lost my little headset again. These keep falling out of my ear, y'all. So anyway, if you're still here, can you tell me if you can hear me? Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something. So I want to make sure you can still hear. So anyway, yeah, so after that, I ended up getting to the event, met up with this woman from Blue Bottle Love. Her name's Kaden. And then we really had a deep connection. So we ended up, I invited her back to my shop in Austin. We went to Barton Springs together. Her friend David was traveling with her, and me and David and Kaden hung out for like 3 days over the weekend at Casa de Luz in my shop in the Springs. And so after day 2 of hanging out, we went down to the Springs together to go take a dip. And she had been there before because she had lived in Texas before, but now she lives in Maui. And so we did this beautiful display from the Blue Bottle Love, and really upgraded my water store and my water refill station and our water blessed living water project and all of that. And so I'll be posting some stories about that because it's so fabulous and so beautiful, and it's a whole nother topic. So we went down to the Springs, walked over there, and ended up going down to the free side. If any of y'all know about that. So there's a free side where it's just chaos and public and people from all over that are just hanging out at the Springs. And then there is a fence with a dam that spills over, and then there's the paid side. And in the paid side, there is this like hill that you have to climb up. And you have to go all the way up and around Zilker Park, and come back and around and pay, and then you go into the deep end, which I love to do because I love to swim and mermaid and get in the water and all of that. So as I was coming down, I told them I was wearing my Crocs, and I said, my Crocs have to be in sports mode to go up this hill. And as soon as I started going up these really steep steps and up the hill, down from the spillway, in which there was like a ton of people there and just partying and, bringing glass down to the Springs and all kinds of stupid stuff happening, chaos over there. which is why we went to the other side, because it's super peaceful and it's deep where you could dive and swim. And I said, I'm going to put my Crocs in sports mode. So I started to go up the hill, and there's a woman about to fall down the hill, fall down the steps. Her friend was trying to carry her, and she was about to literally pass out, perhaps even cross over, because she was so severely dehydrated and she was literally about to check out. So I rushed up there and scooped her up, and as soon as I scooped her up and started to help her down, she passed out, and I went into like major like plant medicine ceremony shaman mode, like, get back in your body, like, stay right here. If you're gonna stay here, I'm gonna have to get you to the water. You're gonna have to, check in with your body. And she like tapped back in, and she got a little strength in her legs, just enough to get her down these super steep stairs that are concrete. And then we had to pass through this concrete area where everyone was hanging out. Literally no one got up. Nobody got up. No one helped. Nothing. So then we ended up getting. Kaden took my bag, she took my medicine bag, made sure it didn't get wet, and I walked her into the water, and she still wasn't cooling down fast enough. She was checking in and out of her body, and really, really very near death. And I just slid down in the water with her against my chest, and we slid all the way down, and I had her lean back on me, and we were both facing the sky, and I was just holding my hands over her heart, and I was like, just breathe with me, just breathe with me, just breathe with me. And so I was just checking in with her. Make sure, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me still, because I'm not sure if my headsets are doing good. So she was breathing with me, and she was slowly coming back to her body. And so she was leaning back, and I slid down. I had my bathing suit on under my dress, and everything was completely saturated, and we were just breathing in the water, and the water is like 67 to 71 degrees, super cold. So we decided I decided to keep her there and just, slow her heart rate down. Get into the water, check in, breathe. Thank you. And so we were breathing together, and I was holding my hands over her heart, and then she came back to her body, and she said, I miss my mom. And her friend said, what she means is that her mom just left and crossed over. And so I just started channeling the Divine Mother and her mother, and just telling her that this is your life, this is your one life, come back into your body, breathe. And she said, I'm about to lose my house, I'm about to be homeless, I've been homeless most of my life. And her mother was just telling her, this is your one chance, you claim what you want, you find a place that you love, and you live there, and you do it, and you succeed at it, because this is what you're here for. And she started crying, and she came back, and she was able to get enough strength to sit up, and she turned around and just looked at me soul to soul, and she was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, girl, you almost left, man, like that was intense. And her friend was like, thank you, and she started to come back, and we gave her some water from the springs, and someone brought her some water, and I told her if she needed to find me, she could find me at the lighthouse at Casa de Luz. And so then we left her, went up the hill, went into Zilker Park, paid, and David, he used to be an EMT, so I knew that he was able to swim, and so I said, do you want to do some laps with me? So I did some laps back and forth across the deep end. And then I was waiting for Caden to come down there. And then Caden jumps in, and we swim around, and we pop up. And as soon as we popped up, someone on the chaotic free side, right by the fence, threw a bunch of accelerant on their barbecue grill and ignited it, and everything became toxic on top of the water. Like, we were breathing in this butane. And we were like, and I just felt it, like, oh my God, it was so intense. And so we went back under and swam a little bit more, and I breathed it again. And she was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. And we started swimming away from it toward the diving board. Well, David had made it all the way over there. He was already over there sitting at the ladder. So I saw him, but I went under and I popped back up, and I noticed he was talking to my friend CJ, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know they knew each other. But when I popped back up, either I didn't have enough room in my lungs because the gas had burned my lungs, or I came up too quickly, but I was kind of also shocked that David and CJ were talking, so I kind of gasped, and I fucking aspirated water, like a mist of water, my whole every fucking alveoli in my lungs filled with water. And I was a good 15 feet from the ladder. And I launched myself to CJ, and he didn't even know I was there. He was facing David, and he's like, hey, what's up? Are you okay? Oh my God, you're not okay. Oh my God, you're not okay. And I was going, and there was no air coming in. Nothing. No fucking air coming in. And so he pulls me up and out of the water and he walks me to the edge and I'm still in my body. And she sat me down and the lifeguard comes over, but I was like, I've got to do something now. I have a very short period of time. At this point I wasn't breathing for about 3 to 5 minutes. It felt like forever. And CJ was just standing with me like being a rock. And the lifeguard was trying to talk to me and I was like, listen, you know what, in my mind I'm like, I'm going to have to fucking save myself. And so I pushed as hard as I could, like a pranayama breath, and forced energy out my lungs. And I did that 2 to 3 times with any air that I had left, and I was able to get some air. And then I was able to get full air, and my lungs felt damp, but I was able to breathe. And the lifeguard was like talking to me and telling me all the procedures that they had called 911. I was like, I'm back in my body, you know, I'm here, I'm present, you don't need to call 911, they're just going to get out here and there's going to be a waste of time because they have other things to do, you can call them off. And he's like, it's a procedure, blah, 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 you need to go to the ER. And I said, well, David could drive me. And so David's like, yeah, I could drive her. And I'm like, I really don't need to go to the ER, but whatever. And so I stood there and I just felt like when I stood and did that breath work, I was like, this is me saving myself. This is me doing this. And it reminded me of a time when I was doing my shamanic training back in 2016 when I did a soul retrieval with my teacher, Jimmy Terry. And during the soul retrieval and the meditation, I remembered when I was 11 that I had almost drowned. And I had totally blocked that out until 2016. And it was the exact same scenario. I was about 15 to 20 feet from a rock that we were diving off of, and we were diving back and forth from the buoy to the rock, from the buoy to the rock, from the buoy to the rock. My friend was a tomboy and she was super athletic and I was keeping up with her. But then she made it back to the rock in time and I only made it halfway and I was going down. And she was about the same distance that I was from CJ. And she came out and she lifeguard hooked me up with my throat and pulled me in and I was fine. And then we like literally went water skiing. And totally forgot about that for like 30 years of my life or 25 years of my life, something like that. And this was this exact same scenario, but this time around it was me choosing life and choosing to stay in my body and choosing to save myself. So after that happened, I grounded. We went up onto the grass and sat in the sun, and me and David and Caden ohmed together. And then a person walks up with a tiny dog and he's like, come on, come on. And I heard the dog's name. I was like, what's your dog's name? Oh, he said, oh, his name's Valkyrie. Her name's Valkyrie. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, right now. And Caden looks at me like, what is happening? Like, is this your life? Like, is this normally like this? I'm like, it's just accelerating right now. Like, it is accelerating so quickly. Like, we are literally in ceremony every single day. It's so crazy. So that is my near-death experience, and it continued to get serendipitous and even more crazy and beautiful. But here I am at the airport, heading to Bali. All this to say it's been a test. My plane ticket ended up being a scam. I had to purchase a new plane ticket and then an upgrade ticket, and then the upgrade ended up being a scam. So I had like over like $500 of scammy charges. Plus I started getting all these charges from Steam Game as soon as I give the fake upgrade people my card number. So I had to cancel my card, went out to Navy Federal before I went to the airport yesterday, and get out to go get a new card. I had to file a dispute. I had to make sure my plane ticket was still valid, all this stuff. And so it's just been major tests, and I feel like the Divine Mother is just testing me to make sure I'm resilient so I can really be present with her in this beautiful island of Bali. So I'm here with my friend Gina. We're about to board the plane, so I'm going to let you guys go. But please comment below with any of your takeaways from this, and that you received this message. But my message to you is you can fucking save yourself and keep going. All right, over and out. I'll see you from Korea. Namaste.
And also looking